I'm Locum23, and you're joining me for X-Files Episode 2. I'm in Philadelphia working my first case as a federal agent, standing before an exploding body trapped in ice. And somehow, what I'm hung up on is this. I've never considered who I'd be assigned as my partner. The first thing I notice about Aaron Fulton is his eyes like to dart. Not unfocused, but intent. Noticing, assessing. He's about my age, healthy. He carries himself like this is a routine. Yet, he just told me that this is his first case, too. He cups his hands, puffs hot air into them, and then catches my gaze. Eyes dart to me. After the first two bodies were found half-melted, police had the presence of mind to crank up the AC. Preserve this crime scene as long as possible. I must be giving him a look, because he shrugs as if to apologize for something. I've been here for a while. Got up to speed before you showed up. Fulton steps up to the frozen corpse, looking it over. He's curious, but doesn't seem weirded out. He's Timothy Quilling. 37, lived here 9 years alone, grocery store department manager. Make a dry joke, poor guy. These feel like murders. This has to be done to him, right? And the others with intent? That's where my head's at. There's purpose here, but what purpose? That's... Fulton trails off, his mind goes somewhere for a moment, eyes darting again. No forced entry, nothing in disarray aside from the deceased. What do you make of this, Dexler? The frozen, fragmented corpse left on display. You seem unfazed. Whatever it is, I can't help but notice you aren't at all taken aback by it. Speculation from the previous deaths is that it's something called spontaneous explosion gelation. The water inside flash freezes, expanding with enough force to explode through the body as it freezes as well. That's good to know, but it doesn't explain why you aren't freaked out. Well, looks like the frozen remains, looks through them, almost. I've seen things. Not this thing, but things. It is unsettling, and it doesn't unsettle me. I've also seen things. This isn't exactly my first dealing with something beyond explanation, either. I don't know if anything's beyond explanation when you get down to it. Does that mean you believe everything's possible, or... means I'm open to possibilities, especially in the face of something like this. There isn't a natural predictation for what we're looking at. Water naturally expands when it cools. Other liquids don't, but water does. I remember that from chemistry. Right, but explosion gelation? For it to happen so quickly with a strong force enough to rip human flesh and cartilage? And to happen to a person at all, sure there's no conventional way to explain it. If we can find out why this was so done to Mr. Quilling and others, we can piece together the rest. No matter how strange. So we're definitely ruling out, say, Crystallician-era parasites in the water supply, or a subatomic breakdown in the fabric of reality? Profiling's what I do. We both see intent here. It makes the most sense that we pursue motive. I'd be more apt to find out what's happened to these people, since it's the one unique element, but Fulton's my partner. How leads to who or what? I think if we figure out the how this was done, it'll lead to the person, or whatever behind it. Profiling works, Agent Dexler. He says it without malice or ego, which somehow makes his dismissal worse. There's just one eyewitness, according to Philly PD. She's out front. How about we go talk to her? I'll take point. Dr. Skinner never said which of us is in charge of the case. Judging from Fulton's assertion, he wasn't told either. Sounds good. Lead the way. The relationship is now friendly. I could call him out for being presumptuous, but he took the initiative. It's not like there won't be another interviews. Besides, it should be interesting to see how well he interacts with others. Wow, it's actually kind of interesting. It's not a chilly night, but the witness wraps herself in a fleece rescue blanket and shivers as she rises from the squad car. It isn't because of the residual cold from inside. I recognize it from the haunted look in her eyes. Hi, Wendy. My name is Aaron Fulton. This is Jess Dexler. We're federal agents. Right away I notice a personable ease in Fulton's approach. It's different from what we've learned at the Academy, a variation on him. Now, we'd like to ask you about what happened tonight. Do you think you're up to that? I guess. I mean... Miss Albright shrugs. It almost feels like a strange and futile question to her right now. Wendy, how long have you known Tim Quilling? A couple months? Not even. We're only been out a few times. How'd you guys meet? Starry Lanes, the bowling alley. I go for Tuesday happy hour. We met at the bar. It's gonna be pretty straightforward. I wonder to myself if cross-questioning her might provide a tell. Let Fulton continue. I think better of it. I'd rather see where Fulton takes us. Can you tell me about tonight? I came over, we were watching music videos, I went to the bathroom. As soon as I heard Tim arguing, I don't know who with, a man. Could you hear what he was saying? Not clearly, but they got loud. I couldn't even stand up, like I didn't know what would... You were curious. Or weren't curious? You didn't put your ear up to the door? No, I was. You weren't there. You didn't hear them. Did you have your purse with you in the bathroom? Looks at Fulton, puzzled, looks to me, and then back to him. Did you have it or not? Yes, I had my purse, so what? Means the other individual didn't know she was there. Fulton gets impatient, and it's making her agitated. If I don't step in, we might lose her cooperation. It's okay, Miss. Agent Fulton is trying to establish a continuity, Miss Albright. Here my voice takes him out of the hastening rhythm. What I want to know is, did you have your phone with you in the bathroom? Well, yeah, but, I mean, the battery was dead. I forgot to charge it last night. I never forget, but somehow... He starts to sob with guilt. I let him down, didn't I? No, absolutely not. In fact, you're helping him right now by helping us. Fulton's words seem to calm her down, give her direction. So there's an argument. What happens next? There's the sound, a whoosh of air, and then, like, trees cracking, I guess ice, and then it was quiet, so I opened the door. I can tell Miss Albright's trying not to think of Tim's body. It's like me and Chevelle and the Mucus Man. I can focus her elsewhere. Did you see the man? Was the man Tim arguing with still there? Any idea where he went? No, the door was open. He was gone. That's all I know to tell. Sure, of course, we understand. Wendy, thanks for your time. We might have more questions for you later, but you've been helpful tonight. She nods, exhausted, barely registering Fulton's words. Even with more questions, her answers might not flow all that readily. Thanks for the help. I needed it more than I realized going in. Nothing left here for us to do. I'll see you tomorrow. Fulton's right. We're done for the night. I hail a ride to the station and take the train back. I try to think about the case, but nothing coalesces. Not even once I reach the sanctuary of home. Not even in the shower. All I can think about is the victims must have something in common, and then in case may be too much of a pair of rookie field office agents. And of course I wonder what to make of Fulton. His head is all clouds and tangles. I realize it may be good to talk to someone. It can't be Skinner. Not unless I want to be seen as a partner snitch right out of the gate, but there is another option. Oof. No, I'm gonna go to bed. A good night's rest usually brings some amount of clarity. I'm hoping that's true this time. Even though I really want to pick every time an option. It's X-Files, shut up. I drive to J for Hoover Building for the first full day on the job. I'm surprised to find I'm in before Fulton. Our shared office must surely be meant for one occupant. There's not much to it, and very little I intend to do about it. I fire up my computer and begin looking up the victims. 3 men, different parts of Philly, different ages, different lines of work. They have accounts on the same social media app and no common friends. The third has a private profile. I may need a warrant to see it. Fulton arrives before long. He says morning and settles in at his desk. After a few minutes pass, he breaks the silence. I was up late building a profile. White male adult, 20s, 30s, unintelligent, an impatient planner who knew the victims. As evidenced by the lack of break-ins and the argument with Tim Quilling, who had the company the killer was unaware of. The victim saw the killer as inferior, and were likely cruel to him. This is him correcting a perceived injustice. You know the killer's thoughts now? Are you going to reveal you're a psychic or something? There's no evidence to support that, plus Tim Quilling sounded like a pretty meek guy. I know Tim doesn't easily fit, but I put myself in the killer's shoes, and this is what I see. It's what makes the most sense. It's a very intuitive process, and it's not perfect, but it gets results. This is a solid foundation to start from. You're not going to budge on the profiling, are you? It's what I know. It's what I'm best at, and I feel strong. I feel really strong about the understanding him is how we find him. We can keep our options open. We don't have to commit to one approach right now. No, that's true, we don't. But I really do believe we should this time. I understand if it feels like I'm railroading and I'm going to be the worst partner, but this is only my first case. To be clear, I do not intend to make my perspective the only perspective. You earned your way here, you deserve to be heard. Well, thank you. Fulton scrutinizes me like I'm a work of abstract art. I'm about to break the awkward silence when he does it first. We don't know each other, after all. Like, not at all. What brought you to the Bureau, and why the X-Files? Tell him about Alaska. You might want to get a beverage. This will take a few minutes. Fulton sits back and to listen as I explain Rowan Base, the Mucus Man, Porchevelle's death, Mulder, Scully, and Doggett. All of it. When I'm finished, he's leaning forward in his seat, lips parted. He's stunned. His response is not what I expected. You know John Doggett? That's amazing. He's the intern at Pierce Institute. He's like an uncle to me. Pierce Institute? Is that the consulting firm Doggett worked for? He still does. He even works with Skinner sometimes, and Mulder and Scully... Fulton gets a perturbed look on his face. I wait for him to say something. I haven't even met Mulder and Scully yet, and you've known them for years. I'm kind of jealous, Dexler. It's not like we're close, so why did you intern there? What's your reason for joining the Bureau? Remember, I told you everything. You did, and I'm grateful, but maybe we should get to work. A bit of wind leaves my sails. I thought we were getting somewhere, but when Fulton gets cagey about his past, I wonder why. Things are quiet again for a bit. Each of us doing our own work. All I can think about is how one side of this partnership could end up. Then Fulton suddenly stands up and starts to leave. I realize it's early yet, but I missed breakfast. I need to get some lunch. Come with me. We can talk. I'm not even remotely hungry, but it seems he's making an effort. I get up and decide to see where he's going with this. Hey, you could always go for a coffee. Special Agent Aaron Fulton. You are now playing as Aaron Fulton. Okay, alright. I'm liking him. Lunch. What a great idea. Not even a bit hungry, and here you are mainlining street tacos as I refuse to leave the building to talk. Stuffy little room doesn't feel right, though. You should be doing something about the office so it doesn't feel so rude. Okay, no more pig as a trough. Tell her what you mean to tell her. I chose this career because my whole family was murdered by a serial killer. Dexler lets out half a laugh at first, and then realizes you're serious, and looks to you in silence. Way to be blunt. My God, you really mean it. Fulton, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna eat my taco. I'm gonna be like Mulder. There you go. Back to the food. Much easier than having to say anything. May I ask what happened to the killer? Did they catch him? The question steps in your mind and looks around, but you aren't letting it open any doors. Not today. He'll never kill again. So what happens to your family then? At some point you decide, what exactly? What was it inside of you that brought you here? I don't want that to happen again. The kind of intentional destruction of people's lives. All that pain, chaos, suffering that the coach caused during and after. Guardian, you want to protect the innocent. I know I can't stop it all, no one can, but as much of it as I can stop, I will. I think your family would be grateful. Thank you. Dexler looks at you with a greater understanding, empathy, and then realization. Lawman, you want to bring criminals to justice. That was the coach. I wrote about the case, how it ended. bit of baggage got stuck between your teeth. Cabbage, excuse me. Baggage, yeah, that too. You should have grabbed a toothpick from the food cart. Should we get back to it? Before you know it, you're back at the computer, perfecting the art of formulating FBI database search terms. You doubt you'll find your killer in one of these records, but you might find someone similar enough to provide some critical context. The office isn't just rude, it's dull. It doesn't have any features to help you go to places. It could use some personality. Hey, Dexler, I know it's hardly a priority, but what do you think of sprucing this place up a bit? Dexler keeps her eyes and focus on her work. I'm fine. Regardless, you want to change the look of the office, knock yourself out. Okay, what the hell ever? I mean, never mind. It was just a thought. Searches are slow. You start thinking about 3 victims and how their killer connects them. You know they can be old school mates. It's stuff with the killer worked with them at some point. They didn't cross-commute. Fulton, I think I got something. She waves you over, so you step behind her desk and take a look over her shoulder. As soon as you see it, of course, how was it not more obvious? They were in the same bowling league. It's a large league, men only. None of the 3 victims knew each other. They played on different teams and frequented different lanes. You head back up to Philly with Dexler, interviewing the league members who knew the victims. You and Dexler work well together. You're both green, but after several of those interviews, you've developed a rhythm together. You start with the first victim. Everyone loved or hated this guy. Opinionated, loud, makes sense that he'd be the first, the tipping point. No one stands out as a suspect. Same with the associates of the second victim, who sounds more like a suspect himself. They say he was quiet with a dark sense of humor. 5 bowling alleys in 2 days, double-digit interviews, nothing, no special insights, no motives, no direction. The Dexler does learn from forensic inventories that the victims are all missing their bowling balls, most likely kept as trophies. Somewhere there's a killer. Starry Lanes. This is where Wendy and Tim met. Look at that. She's even at the bar. You don't look at that. Instead, you go to the register with the manager on duty. And now, familiar donation jars for the first 2 victims. Hey there, we're with the FBI. I'm Agent Fulton, this is Agent Dexler. May we ask you some questions? Oh, sure. What do you want to know about? Tim Quilling. Tim Quilling used to bowl here. Did you know him? I mean, I know who he is, sure. He doesn't have a donation jar like the others. Why is that? Well, the others, ones, their families, you know, they need help. But Tim, I don't think he had anyone, so I don't know how his funeral gets paid for if he doesn't have family. Hey, if you want to talk to someone who played with Tim, go see little Jimmer, Lane 6 with his family. Oh, you're a big guy. Taking the night manager's advice, you locate the man and identify yourself. He asks to be out of earshot of his children. You oblige. What's this about? About Quillen? For their friendship. To see his reaction, you make the assumption that little Jimmer and Tim Quilling must have spent some time outside the lanes. No, we bowled together, that's it. I wasn't suggesting two were intimate, just that... Whoa, intimate. Look, I knew Quillen well enough to know I wanted nothing to do with him. The rest of the team felt the same way. Damn good bowler, but he was one of those, I don't know, hugged a tree, saved a pandas type. That doesn't sound like someone who would have had the slighted killer. Your profile isn't looking so hot. Anyway, you want to know more about Tim? Why bother me when you got a better source back where you came from? We've already spoken with Miss Albright. What? Wendy, not the desk. You were talking to him, his one and only friend? Your face probably looks just like Dexler's. You just got the wool pulled over your eyes by the night manager. Rush back to the counter, but he's gone. The back! He ran out the back! Thank you, Wendy. You pull your weapons, stepping to open the alley door. You feel the rush and the fear. And remember, you were the worst shot in the academy. Oh, that's right, we're still playing as there. I'm gonna go first. She's a better shot. You signal for Dexler to wait, and you carefully check the doorway. You're pretty sure she's run from the scene by now anyway. All's clear. The sound of cooling units and idling trucks wouldn't be enough to mask footfalls as suspected. You don't hear any. Crouched with guns drawn, the two of you take furtive steps along the bottled water truck. You repeat to yourself in a whisper, bottled water truck. Look out! Dexler, down! You witness her military training. She doesn't look, doesn't ask questions, she just drops. You took a gash to the shoulder trying to apprehend Sneeberg. While you stop to watch her just long enough for a shard of frozen plastic to slice your left arm. Nice work. You flip over and look up. The truck has become a spiked wall of ice and plastic and even some metal. Oh my god. You've seen things before, sure, but nothing quite like this. Neither is Dexler. As the pain in your arm starts to register and the blood pools, you hear them, the footfalls. By the time either of you get to your feet, your serial killer will have gotten away. Give yourself a slow clap. Yes, but you're alive. Professional. Friendly. Okay. Oh, that was it? Okay. So we're professional and friendly. I mean, that's what you want as a teammate, I'm assuming. Or as a team. So without further ado, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down in the description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. Also remember to hit that bell notification icon. And hey, consider hitting the join button. It's a great way of supporting the channels, being part of the Locums Locos, and just a great way of supporting yours truly and my family. Without further ado, thank you all once again for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving. If you're into that, don't worry. I'm not going to have one because of the stasis of everything for myself, but, you know, just thought I'd wish it for those who celebrate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye.